Yeah.
It's George.
It's Elaine.
Come on up.
Hey, what are you listening to?
I never heard anything like this in my life. Listen to this.
This is exciting! This is exciting! Huh? Did I miss anything already?
Kramer, get in!
Where's the crazy man?
Hey! Sit down. Come on, it's about to start.
Hello and welcome to Seincast, a retrospective on all 180 episodes of Seinfeld, being hosted by two guys who can barely run their own lives. My name's Matt.
My name's Vinny.
How we doing?
Good enough. No?
Channeling your Martin.
Yeah. Martin!
Martin! Another midnight recording for us.
Yep, couldn't be helped, but I think we get some good stuff when we do midnight records.
Yes, we do. I left my Drake's coffee cakes in the kitchen. Can you hang on a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Here, vamp for a little bit.
Vamp. I'm having a good time. Not. As you guys can tell, we've discussed this at nauseum, but we are huge fans of the Wayne's World series as well as Clue, so this podcast is riddled with such references. And Matt is back.
I'm back.
Hello.
I wanted to, Jesus Christ.
Off to a phenomenal start.
Can we ever have a show that goes smoothly?
Nope.
I bought a box of Drake's coffee cakes at the supermarket.
Minis. Yeah.
What's that?
The minis.
The minis, yeah, they don't advertise it as the minis, but I guess the your big boy has come in those individually wrapped packages where I think you'd find those at bodegas.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen a big boy in person.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'd like to try one.
You'd like to try a big boy?
Yeah. Oh, I hear a crinkling wrapper.
Yes, I'm unwrapping it right now. I'm just going to try it, which I'm sure all of our listeners can't wait to hear me.
Chew right in the mic.
Yeah, bite into this. Let's see. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's no noise I hate more than the sound of someone eating into a microphone. Mm-hmm. So, apologies.
Hey, Matt, can I have a bite?
I don't like to give out bites. I've got another one, but I'm saving it for later.
There it is.
All right, enough of our...
No.
We're such good improvisers, Vinny. I
best.
don't know why we don't do it more often. Have you ever had a Drake's coffee cake before?
Several times.
Oh, you have?
Delicious.
This is my first one.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've never had one before.
Oh, what are your thoughts?
It's a little oily. No, it's okay. It's something I don't think I'd ever really buy again unless I was in a Seinfeld mood.
I think it might, if you didn't have it as a kid or growing up or in conjunction with Seinfeld, maybe there's more nostalgia to it. But you having it as a 30-something
man-child.
There it is. Probably not as cracked up as it's meant to be.
Yeah, Drake's is an East Coast thing.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because
I thought it was nationwide.
No, we didn't have them growing up in Indiana. I think we only had Hostess.
Okay.
Tasty Cake, another brand we didn't have in the Midwest. So
I do recall my parents having coffee cake along with coffee growing up. So that was a staple in the house.
Yeah, East Coasters just get the best stuff in terms of variety.
You better believe it.
But anyways,
all right.
All right. Should we move forward?
Can we, please?
Yeah. Well, if the Drake's coffee cake wasn't enough of a hint, what episode are we discussing today, Vinny?
We are discussing the 12th episode. Matt, get your finger out of your nose. Episode of season 3, The Suicide, written by Tom Leopold, directed by Tom Sharonis, and airing on January 29th, 1992.
And if this is your first time listening, Vinny and I are following the episode order on our DVDs, which can contradict the original air date order. This is a great example of that. 2 episodes aired before this originally.
Yeah.
We will spoil future episodes, so we recommend everyone buy Seinfeld on DVD, marathon the show, and then come back to join us. So yeah, Vinny, you mentioned good old Tom Leopold returning for his second episode. He wrote The Cafe with Babu Bhatt.
Oh, okay.
Remember that? He
that's right, because it was a Vietnamese cafe originally, and he switched it to a Pakistani.
That's right. And of course, 2 of the big storylines this episode came from his life. First one being when he lived in New York, he had a very weird next door neighbor. Not exactly like the Martin character, but just a real oddball. Mm-hmm. And that neighbor actually committed suicide.
Oh.
Yes. All right, we're off to a great start. it was a rent-controlled building, so the guy who died, his estranged wife, took over the apartment. So there's something going on there with significant others, suicide, neighbors, whatnot.
Wasn't the in the apartment episode, wasn't Mrs. Hudwalker's apartment rent controlled as well? Or no?
Oh, yeah.
It was only $400 a month?
Yeah, it was pretty cheap.
Yeah.
So something similar.
$400 a month? Only $400 a month?
And speaking of Elaine, the fasting storyline came from Tom Leopold's experience doing the same thing. However, he didn't even last a day fasting. So I think he probably put a lot of his personal experiences, into the Elaine.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, storyline. I've never fasted before. Have you?
Yes.
You have? For how long?
A day or so. I can make a day. I could be Tom Leopold.
Sure. This episode is probably best known for the introduction of the Newman character to Seinfeld.
You'd say that, and you'd be right.
At least the on-screen Newman character, because we had Larry David play Newman in The Revenge, but just his voice. You heard him up on the roof. And I guess later, once Wayne Knight was established as Newman, he went back to re-record those lines for syndication. But, this really is our first look, at least, of Newman. And what a look it is, because, Wayne Knight is just so good in this role. It's debatable who the fifth member of the Seinfeld cast is. I like to think Wayne Knight is. He's introduced in season 3, so he's been there since the beginning, in a sense. And maybe the fact that he lives in the building and has so many interactions with the 4 makes him sort of this fifth member. But originally, as a character, he was envisioned to be like a privileged son of the landlord. We'll put it that way. And he was able to get away with just being a real,
ass.
And he would sort of be a foil, I guess, for a lot of the characters, as he later became for Jerry, especially. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can't imagine anyone other than Wayne Knight in the role.
Funny thing you should mention that, because we did learn 2 actors who auditioned for the role of Newman. The first was an actor by the name of Dan Schneider, and I don't have too many things. This guy has been a producer and writer. He's done a lot of things, but as an actor, he's been in the TV series Victorious. He was on iCarly. So nothing. He's done a lot of voice work. Mm-hmm. But then the other actor who auditioned was Armin Shimmerman. Mm-hmm. And are you familiar with this gentleman?
I don't know the name. No.
You may recognize his face as Stan the Caddy.
Really? Whoa!
I kid you not.
That's wild.
I typed in the IMDb Armin Shimmerman's name, and I saw this face, and I said, I know that guy. And sure enough, I'm scrolling down. I'm looking. Seinfeld, the Caddy episode, he plays Stan.
Wow, that's wild.
Good call, Stan.
I don't know. Wayne Knight owns the role so well.
It. Yeah, he defined what the role was.
But like on paper, the idea of like a bratty, son of the landlord, I could see this Armin Shimmerman taking over. But
I like that they must have liked him to a point that they brought him back, or maybe he just auditioned for a new role several years later.
Yeah. I mean, that's the casting director's role, right? Is to just see something special in these actors that come in, like, oh, you might be better for this role. 3-4 years down the line. A week or two ago, we had some listeners send us links to an episode of The Nerdist, which is a podcast hosted by Chris Hardwick, and they interviewed Wayne Knight, actually, which is fantastic because it timed out perfectly with our discussion this week. And I pulled a few highlights. They don't talk about Seinfeld too much in this episode, but I took the good stuff, so you can just hear the Seinfeld goodies here.
Did you audition for Seinfeld just going through the regular audition channels, or had they seen you in something and asked you?
No, I came in. The part was, he'd done an episode of Newman, voicing it, but they didn't cast an actor. So now they're going to cast Newman, and they have this. And the episode was, the Drake's Cake thing. Is like, how long do you wait before hitting on the girlfriend of a guy in a coma? Was the big question. And And so Jerry wants to hit on this, girl whose husband's in a coma, boyfriend's in a coma. I'm a friend of the boyfriend, and I'm the kind of building snitch. That was the premise of the character. Like he was maybe the son of the landlord or something like that. That's how he got an apartment. And he buys me off with the Drake's cake. And what happened was that I'm sitting there with Michael, and we looked like something out of a 1939 World's Fair. There's like a round thing and a needle, and you're standing side by side, and you go, these two look good together, and I just started coming back, and it just was one of those serendipity things. We thought it was a one-off, and it turned out to be
45.
45 episodes?
45 episodes.
45 episodes, $1.10. It's an amazing thing. Meanwhile, somebody has $890 million, but not me.
So basically, everything we just said, Wayne Knight reinforced. So thank you, Wayne Knight.
Sorry.
Dynamite drop in.
I have 2 more clips we can play instead.
So, funny story, and I'd like to pay a little tribute to our friend Rich from college.
Oh, hey, Rich.
I remember we were, hey, buddy, that's Rich.
That's Rich.
Every time we bring up Rich, we reference the guy from the opera. A crazy clown is after you. Oh, that's Rich. So that's Rich. But
sorry, Rich.
We were sitting in a time class and we were talking about Newman, and he goes, "How many episodes do you think Wayne Knight was in as Newman?" And for some reason, I go, "I don't know, 10." And he goes, "No way!" And I was like, "I think it's only 10." And sure enough, we did a Google and we found the 45, and I felt like a moron. But I always think of that, and now I will always know Wayne Knight was in 45 episodes of Seinfeld. We forgot to also mention he was in Third Rock from the Sun, several episodes of that. He voiced Toy Collector in Toy Story 2. You mentioned Jurassic Park, JFK, Dirty Dancing.
Basic Instinct, though.
Basic Instinct.
One of the sweaty guys in the interrogation room.
Oh, he's been in this current show, The X's. 51 episodes of that.
That's what he was promoting on The Nerdist, which I hadn't heard of before.
And then I got 2 more. He was in Comedians in Cars, Getting Coffee. He played Newman in that Super Bowl episode with
so good, yeah.
Jason Alexander playing George. And then finally, he was in a Curb playing Wayne Knight, playing Newman in the Table Read episode from season 7. So, yay, Newman.
There you go. I like the what he mentions in the interview on the Nerdist podcast, the visual comparison to like the World's Fair. I think of like Laurel and Hardy when I think of Kramer and Newman. Like short, fat guy, tall, skinny guy.
How did Wayne Knight describe it? A round thing and a needle?
And a needle.
What he said? Okay.
Yeah, it's perfect. Actually, I have a little bit more here from the interview where he talks about his relationship with Michael and how Michael eventually felt about his sort of like team up with Newman.
Did that just sort of the relationship just organically develop?
It developed, then it devolved, then it transmogrified. I mean, because originally we were working as a 2, Michael and I working together, and then one day he says, "I don't want to do this anymore." So I went away for a while, and then I came back as Jerry's nemesis. Right. So that formulation would not have happened had it not, because Michael's process is very particular and very different from mine. Mine is more of an improv base, and like wherever you are, find what's there and make funny. And his is basically go in a corner and flagellate yourself for a while, and then
that doesn't sound fun.
And then have Lotzie and moves and things that are all preordained, that he knows what he's going to do. He likes to be very secure in what he's doing before he does it, and that's not necessarily a necessity for me.
Funny guy.
It kind of made me sad to hear that.
I felt the same way.
That Michael was kind of like, I'm not feeling this Kramer-Newman team-up thing anymore.
Well, he admits in interviews that he kind of misjudged, or that was a mistake. That they did make a good team, but that he did have that way of working, that he needed to work by himself, and he didn't want to be thought of as a 2. He wanted to be just Kramer by himself.
Of course.
But I guess we can thank him, because that mindset of his led to Newman becoming Jerry's adversary that we've grown to love seeing that relationship so much.
We see Kramer and Newman together throughout the whole series. It's not like they abandoned that concept altogether. It wasn't like a must. Like if we have Newman on screen, he has to be with Kramer. But I think I like Kramer and Newman together more than like the Jerry Newman.
Oh yeah.
Nemesis thing.
I mean, you could rattle off so many of the memorable moments. Them playing Risk, sitting on the subway, the bottle deposits.
I love the bottle deposit. Like when they go to the they're not together the whole time, but I love them when they go to like the farmhouse and there's just
And you talked about that 1930s World Fair. You got the classic that the
when he's drinking
the montage.
The Mellow Yellow.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, well, we're talking about Newman a lot here. We should get on to the episode, but I have just one last bit from the interview.
We had to tell the audience, stop applauding, laughing on Kramer entrances. It's blowing the moment.
Oh, wow.
And also, we would shape laughs narrow instead of to their actual dimension. That you'd come and do an entrance, and there'd be like, and then you'd see the show, and it'd go, because they don't have time for that laugh,
Right.
I mean, there was like 100 pages to these 22-minute shows sometimes. You're in scene double L or something like that. Wow. So they had to keep it rolling. I mean, it was a different kind of idea that you're doing a lot of short scenes and bursts and going, which we don't do the same now, strangely. I mean, it's like they've never really effectively copied the technique of the show.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think it's hard to do. I think because it was a marriage of two philosophies that blended. It's like, you enjoy Reese's peanut butter cups, and you go, well, let's try a liver and a potato chip. It's like, it doesn't work. With Larry and Jerry, you had the observational side and the angst meeting each other. And so there was an observation and then the meaning of the observation and then another observation and then the meaning of that and then how that dovetails into this. And it becomes this cascade of contrapuntal things that's just funny.
Right.
I mean, they just were a funny duo in terms of the way it was written.
Damn, I can see why he's a voice actor. Did you hear that laugh he did?
Yeah. And of course, nothing better than I feel like people talking about Larry and Jerry, and that's perfect. How you take observation and then you take the angst and pairing those two. Just a great combination.
I can't get over how eloquent Wayne Knight is when he speaks.
Oh yeah, right.
Damn.
We've got a lot to learn. Should we move on to the suicide?
Yeah, I guess.
I'm going to get a physical examination. To me, that urine sample, giving them that's always a pleasure, isn't it? And then there's always the amount question. I don't know what you need. I mean, I gave you whatever I had there. I got more. I mean, whatever you need, I can get it for you. Just let me know what you need. I mean, it's no problem. I mean, but any kind of physical test, I don't know what it is. I always kind of click into this thing where I want to do really well. If it's going to be a physical test, I want to do well. Like remember when you were in school and they do those hearing tests and you'd really be listening, trying to do well. I want to do well. I wanted to do unbelievable on the hearing test. I wanted them to come over to me after the hearing test and go, we think you may have something close to super hearing. What you heard was a cotton ball touching a piece of felt. We're sending the results to Washington. We'd like you to meet the president.
I was looking at the DVD, the time code. I'm like, man, this is a long stand-up.
Yeah, it's a minute, I think.
Yeah, or close to it at least. It's one of his longer ones, and I just don't know if it's one of his if it's one of his best ones.
Yeah, I like it. It's he's kind of jumping from a little bit from place to place because he talks about first the urine sample, then he hops to the hearing test, and then he talks about sending the results to Washington.
I like it. It's a lot of little jokes there that work, but
I guess it's going in and get a physical, and all the things that entail that. One thing that came to mind when I was listening to this that kind of cracked me up was I remember when I was a kid and I had to go in for surgery, but I had to provide a urine sample, and I think I made the cup overflow.
Damn.
So there's like, thank you. What are you, a camel? There's like beads of pee. There are beads of pee on the plastic cup.
Oh, that's a lovely.
And I had to hand it to the nurse, and I felt so bad. And I'm thinking of Jerry going, that's always a pleasure, handing him that urine sample. And he's like, I gave you the amount I had. If you need more, I can get it for you. So that reminded me of that. And then I was also conscious of Jerry's eyes darting back and forth when he's doing the hearing thing. I wanted to hear well. I wanted to hear really well.
Right.
And his eyes get real big, and he's going back and forth.
I had that. I still have it, but as a kid, sort of the fantasies that would conjure up, like, I'm so special. They're going to send us to Washington. I'm going to meet the president. Like, just the world revolves around you when you're a kid.
Yeah, because he used to have those presidential tests where you had to run the mile and then do these other things. Was there a hearing test like he's talking about?
Maybe.
But man, what two better things could you use to represent, having these two inanimate objects touching each other that would not make a sound? And he chooses a piece of felt and a cotton ball, and that conjures up that image when you touch those two things, and no sound will result.
I did think of velvet for some reason. Like when he said felt, I was just thinking, like rubbing some velvet together. Anyways, first scene of the episode is, most episodes start, Jerry's apartment. Jerry and Elaine are hanging out. She's in the kitchen. Looks like she's eating some cereal or some chips. I don't know what's going on there.
Doritos, but she's going to town on them.
You're right. They're in the middle of a topic, or at least they start a topic. Jerry wonders if naming a kid Rasputin would have a negative effect on his life. And, Elaine doesn't think so, which we bring these up from time to time, these random topics that, start off a scene. And jumping ahead quite a bit, I didn't realize how this first scene really pays off in the last scene. Like, it's really a full circle kind of episode, more than we're used to, I think. But how Jerry starts this conversation asking about Rasputin, I love it when he or any character says, hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If someone did that to me, in real life, in reality, my ears would perk up. It can be probably annoying for a lot of people over time to, let me ask you a question. But in the Seinfeld universe, in the Curb universe for that matter, something wonderful is going to follow it. Funny, interesting.
It's that curiosity of just everyday life. And this happens to be on the subject of, baby names.
Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, Vinny, she's going to town on those. I think they are chips. They're going out to dinner in a little bit. Why are you, chowing down? Which kind of reminded me a little bit of, there's a stand-up for another episode when Jerry's talking about his parents. And
spoiling his dinner?
Yeah, spoiling your appetite. I'll spoil my appetite whenever I want. Kind of reminded me of that a little bit. Like Jerry's giving her a hard time. Mm-hmm. But she explains that she has ulcers, or at least she's getting an ulcer test, and she has to fast for 3 days before it. So they're going out for one big dinner tonight until she has to, starve herself.
And she says, who could have given me ulcers? And for some reason, as an audience member, you're kind of led to believe that she's signaling Jerry out as him being the cause of that. Did you get that impression at all?
Oh, yeah, because she closes the freezer and glares at him.
Yeah, and Jerry kind of exhales and says, I'm going to take out the garbage.
But I don't think he would have caused her ulcers.
Was that a joke? Is that a joke?
It's one of those jokes that I think when you overanalyze the show as we do, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Okay. But for the purpose of these two characters and what they've been through together, and maybe Elaine is the more normal one of the group.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't get it.
Right. She seems more stressed at work and with, her boyfriends and whatnot. Like, that would give her ulcers before Jerry would. Mm-hmm. So this is probably only cool to Seinfeld fans that overanalyze this show, but I like that we're going with Jerry to take out the garbage because we never see it.
I love that shot of you get to see a longer stretch of the hallway. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, that's the apartment, and it grows.
Right, and we've seen this set before in the apartment, actually, with Harold and Manny. They were out there. But I love this the set. I wish there were more scenes out here.
Yeah,
as we're about to have with George.
The world, guys, let us see it in there.
Come on. Once he runs into George, he just kind of casually asks, "Hey, throw out my garbage for me." And George declines, says he'll do it for $2. Jerry offers 50 cents, but George says, "Hey, there's no way I'm touching that bag for less than $2." Whoever. I don't know if it's the prop master or whoever. They did such a good job on that bag of garbage. They added a wet grease stain along the bottom, when the garbage leaks.
I saw that. It looks like you got some Five Guys there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, Jerry tries to sweeten the deal by saying, hey, 50 cents, it could get you a Drake's coffee cake. And
You're not getting no Drake's coffee cake for 50 cents.
so I'm looking at my box of Drake's coffee cake, and I've got 10 cakes coming here. They're twin wrapped, so those are your minis, I guess, or your junior, as they put it. And this cost me $3.50. It was on sale for like $2.50, but I would think the big guy though would cost at least $1.
Let's think about this.
I'm gonna have another coffee cake. Actually, it's staring at me.
I'm a little jealous. No, but Jerry's talking about the junior being 50 cents, correct?
Yeah,
And George was saying you didn't say junior. So how many come in that box?
10.
And you pay $2.50. So
25 cents.
Okay. So all right, hey, it still holds up.
So George adds that to the conversation. Hey, I got my ticket to go to the Cayman Islands on Friday, wherever this storyline came from. And I love this thing from Jerry where he's like, oh, it must be fun, going on vacation when you don't have a job. You need a break from getting up at 11, which he just loves digging that knife into George. We
talked about that last week, how he tells it to him straight, and he's always kind of, playfully ripping on his best friend.
Yeah, and I actually forgot how long George is unemployed. Last week he did work at Pennant Publishing for maybe a day or two.
Yeah.
But I forgot George is pretty much unemployed throughout season 3 and 4, for that matter. Like, at least with 4, he is hired for the pilot, which is a job, I guess, in and of itself.
Oh, you know what, actually, I just thought of?
What's that?
So we're talking all about Drake's coffee cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of a Seinfeld character related to Drake's coffee cake?
You mean the Drake?
The Drake.
That just hit you?
Well, why do they call him the Drake?
I always assumed that was his last name.
Yeah, but how do you get the in front of your name? Even
Drake.
Kramer is just Kramer. He's not
the Kramer. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there could be a backstory there, I guess, with coffee cake.
It's a stretch.
Yeah. Well, George tries to get Jerry to come with him to the Cayman Islands, but Jerry points out, hey, I don't go for those non-refundable deals. I can't commit to a woman. I'm not committing to an airline.
So what does that remind you of?
The non-refundable tickets.
Kramer gets the super savers in the airport and screws Joy. She talked me into it. And I seem to recall Morty getting non-refundable tickets at some point. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's when to go to France, right?
Yeah, to Paris.
And they can't use them, so George takes it and goes into the Big Brother Hall of Fame.
That's right. And then we get a introduction to a neighbor of Jerry's.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Gina, do you know what a Drake's coffee cake is?
Of course, the plain cake with the sweet brown crumbs on the top.
Right. How much do they cost?
The junior?
No, the full size.
No, the junior.
You didn't say junior.
I haven't had one of those since I was a little girl.
Really? You should be ashamed of yourself. I want you out of here. How you doing?
Good enough.
Boy, she's sexy, isn't she? Yeah. Do you believe that guy?
What guy?
My neighbor.
Oh, that creepy guy?
Yeah, did he think I was flirting with her?
He didn't seem too pleased.
Maybe I'll get a steak with French fried onion rings.
Hey, you know what? I just remembered something. I had a dream about that guy last night. This is amazing.
What's so amazing? You've seen him before.
I haven't seen him for months.
What was the dream?
He was doing stand-up comedy in Kennebunkport, Maine. This really ominous nightclub. The stage was on a cliff, and the audience was throwing all the comics off.
I think I've played there.
I've had a lot of other paranormal stuff happen to me.
You're a little paranormal. Name one paranormal thing that happened to you.
I knew I was going to be bald.
Your father's bald.
Baldness is inherited from the mother's side, Jerry.
But your mother's bald, too.
Let's first start off with that high that she gave Jerry. That wasn't an enthusiastic high. What kind of high was that?
It was a Mediterranean high.
That was sensual.
You don't get those every day. You don't get corned beef like that anymore.
Man, you're on fire today.
It's the Drakes.
But so we were introduced to the character of Gina, who is played by actress Gina Gallego. And I think we talked about her last week. She originally auditioned for the role of Evie, the cleaning woman at Pendant. But we brought her back, and she actually, I think, was better suited for this role. She was wonderful as Gina. Initially, the character was named Layla, but they changed it to Gina during rehearsals. And I really like when I think it's becoming more of a common thing nowadays, where the character usually has the same name as the actor, whether it's because they're improvising and it's easier for all the players to remember one name versus two. But so there's something about I like that she went by her real name. And
it works. What was the character name? Layla, sorry. Lena Horne. Gina just works, though, for the character. It's just one of those things where, hey, why not? Let's keep it.
So Gina Gallego was in, she did 28 episodes of Days of Our Lives. She was in Anger Management. She was in a Twilight Zone episode. Minority Report.
80s Twilight Zone? or
I think it was from 2002.
CW?
So the new, I'm sorry. Minority Report, Erin Brockovich, Bold and the Beautiful.
Bold and Beautiful.
And wouldn't you know it, she was on a Jake and the Fat Man the same year that she did the Suicide.
Jake and the Fat Man.
I think that'll be the next podcast we do.
I think so. We mention it just as much as we do Curb.
Fat Cast? What do we call it?
Yeah, Fat Cast.
Jake and the Fat Cast?
Yeah, Jake and the Fat Cast.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm just running the show today.
It's a nice
Gina
change.
Gina also reached out her arm and reached out her hand and touches Jerry's arm when she's laughing at his joke. Did you know that?
Oh yeah,
that's
something, right?
Well, Jerry in The Good Samaritan, he talks about Becky Gelke. Gelke. I don't know if it's her or the one who actually hits the car.
No, it's Gelke. She does the arm touch.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I love when they do that. When they reach out their hand and go hee hee." And George asks, "Why is that?" And they say, "Let's not even analyze it."
Oh yeah.
But maybe this is where he learned to love it, was from Gina.
Hey, maybe. I like the Gina character a lot, and I'm glad that she wasn't cast as the cleaning lady in The Red Dot, and instead went to that actress. Her name's escaping me.
And she was perfect for that role.
Oh yeah, I mean Gina I could see her as the cleaning lady, but that actress was perfect. She's much better here. She's interesting though. She's not. I think she's funny, but it's not like she's trying hard. It's just this weird Mediterranean woman in this setting. Yeah, like paired with Jerry. It's very bizarre. We do meet from the clip I played. We meet Martin. One of the few moments he's actually conscious this episode. First thing popped in your mind when you saw Martin. Who'd you think of?
I got nobody.
I got a total Larry Charles vibe from him.
Really?
Like the glasses, the hat, the beard.
No chance.
All right, I'm going to put a little comparison photo up on Facebook and Twitter.
Martin is played by actor C.E. Grimes, and his last acting credit was actually Frank Grimes.
Yeah, there you go.
His last acting credit was 1992, same year of the episode.
Oh, wow. So he hasn't
acted since.
Hasn't acted since. George mentions, that his father's bald. And, of course, Frank Costanza, as we know, played by Jerry Stiller, is not bald.
But wait. George's first father was played by actor John
Randolph.
Thank you. And he was bald. So technically...
Yes, technically he was telling the truth. Yeah, it's going to be interesting when we get to that episode. That's the parking... or the handicap spot. Yeah, handicap spot. Similar to Larry David playing Newman in The Revenge, John Randolph plays Frank Costanza in that episode. And I kind of would have liked the visual similarities between George and his dad, both being bald.
If that's the only... you got to have Jerry Stiller. So
yeah, of course.
Deal with it.
And I guess Estelle's bald.
That's true.
She wears a wig.
There were a couple other things from the scene that I thought were interesting. Kramer just... without hesitation, takes the trash left at his doorstep.
Oh, yeah, we didn't even mention that.
He kind of looks around and just takes it. That's interesting. Another thing I thought was interesting, Jerry knocks on the door, leaves the trash, and he runs into the apartment. And George immediately is in on the joke, follows along with it. And I just love that he kind of knows what Jerry's thinking and kind of plays off it. Like, sure. Oh, we're gonna screw Kramer and prank him. So I thought that was kind of cool. And
Well, can I jump in here real quick? Do you
Sure.
think their prank or whatever it was, do you think it backfired because Kramer kept it? Like, was
Meh.
Kramer supposed to be like mad, like, oh man, it's garbage? Or were they trying to be nice?
I didn't even think that far ahead. I just thought Jerry didn't want to have to deal with his trash anymore,
Yeah.
so they're going to unload it on Kramer, let him deal with it.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. What else? I absolutely believe that Jerry was flirting with Nina.
Or Gina.
Man. It's late nights.
No, he obviously likes her, but it's weird when it's...
Well, she's dating somebody.
Yeah, I mean, you
Next
can...
door neighbor.
My rule on flirting, though, whether you're dating or not, I think there's nothing wrong with a little harmless flirting. I think that's fine. But I think once you get into, like the physical...
in front of a coma
kissing,
patient.
yeah, that could be a problem. But anytime you get into the physical contact and whatnot, it can maybe...
Or if there's intent to
pursue it.
Yeah, put a kibosh on.
Frequency too, you know what I mean? Like if he's doing it every day, it can maybe, gain some steam.
And also, for some reason, when George says, he had a dream, he was doing stand-up comedy in Kennebunkport, Maine, it reminds me of the initial intention of the show was to be about two comedians and how they got their material. So any sort of reference to when we see Jerry and George both being comedians, not that happens often, if ever, but it kind of reminded me of the first episode, or at least the conversation about the pilot.
That's a good point.
That kind of made me happy.
No, yeah. Well, Elaine mentions she has a friend that goes to a psychic, and she just suggests that, hey, we should go sometime. Two really interesting storylines this episode that kind of come out of nowhere. One, the whole Cayman Islands trip. George just kind of mentions that. Mm-hmm. And this whole thing with Elaine. Again, trying to help George out. Like, hey, George, I obviously we've set up that I don't really care for you, but let's go do this thing that my friend did. So
She got him a job last week.
That's true, yeah. I guess, maybe Elaine doesn't hate George as much as I think she does at this point. But it just seems weird for Elaine to be kind of suggesting something, hey, we should go do together.
So you're talking about Elaine had this friend who went to a psychic. Originally, the psychic named Rula was going to be Kramer's friend, and that Elaine was only going to tag along with George to see if Rula could pinpoint why Elaine was having these stomach problems.
Which I kind of like a little bit more. Like, I don't know. We get enough Kramer in this episode. It's not like he's only in a scene and we have to beef up his role.
Yeah, and I also kind of thought the way Elaine interacts with this Rula character, especially kind of confronting her about the smoking while pregnant, it's like Elaine's acting more as an acquaintance or even just a customer versus a friend, Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah, or a friend of a friend. Yeah, like she's...
Like there's no investment in a relationship currently or them ever having known each other.
Mm-hmm. Well, Jerry rips on George a little bit, again, to, why don't you get a job? Why don't you stop worrying about, your vacation or whatnot? But
Psychics, vacations.
As you did earlier, Vinny, George reminds him that, he did get fired, which is a reference to the red dot, which I just love. Love that continuity going from episode to episode.
Now, forgive me. I'm surprised. Why is it in George's character to go to a psychic? One, to pay the money to go visit a psychic, and then two, to believe a psychic?
The old George, it's funny saying old George because we're only in season 3, but...
Early George versus later George is probably easier to...
Yeah, but season 1, season 2 George, when George had a job and he had security and he was established, I don't think he ever would have gone to a psychic, but...
He spent, baby.
Yeah, but from getting fired, and the revenge... And just all of the, back and forth with the relationships, the breakups, the firings.
And every week with the call.
Yeah, I think he's getting desperate, and I think he's looking for answers, like a lot of us do. When you get when you feel helpless or when you feel like you have no control over your life or what have you, you might turn to something maybe a little mystical, a little magical to give you some answers. So... As they're getting ready to leave, Elaine wonders, hey, what did Gandhi eat before he fasted? And again, Jerry kind of jumping in with this sarcastic comment, similar to the one, like, I almost, I couldn't eat until 9, or I didn't eat till 9. That was really rough. He says that he heard Gandhi would polish off a box of Triscuits, which every time I hear this joke, I assume this is a callback or there's some inside joke that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, it didn't. I thought of that too. I was like, this doesn't make me laugh. It's not funny.
Yeah, well, it's very much like I feel like just in a like a very early Seinfeldian sort of joke, like just in the moment, accept it and move on. But yeah, I'm looking for some deeper meaning here.
Well, Gandhi was previously referenced in a different episode, right?
Yeah, he was in the Chinese restaurant. I think that's when she was hungry then too. She was starving, and I think Gandhi got brought up at some point. It is funny in the scene though too when when Jerry says that, Elaine looks like she's like believing him. She's like, really interesting, not sarcastic, like she totally buys it, which is just kind of weird because Jerry's obviously joking, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of the marine biologist when he had the thing. Yeah.
As soon as you said that, it instantly ding.
Clicked. Like where he said, "War, what is it good for?" And she believes that too, but at first she doesn't. She's like, "Come on." So maybe I just look a little deeper than I should, but I assume that Jerry always messes with her, and eventually she kind of built up like a guard and just not believing what he says most of the time.
I'm not joking.
Right. So we transition to later that night, and there's some banging on Jerry's door. He isn't, sure who it is, and we get this.
Gina!
Who?
Martine's girlfriend.
Martine?
Your next door neighbor.
Oh, Martin.
It's Martine. I think he's dying. He tried to kill himself.
All right, well, let's just play the clip.
It's Martin. I think he's dying. He tried to kill himself with pills.
What?
Come on.
In my pajamas? Let me go get my robe.
We do not have time.
It'll take 2 seconds.
There is no time.
We don't have 2 seconds.
All right, go ahead.
Nah, forget it.
No, go ahead.
No, I'll just wear the pajamas.
Will you just get it?
Are you sure?
Then forget it. Come on.
Nah, I'll go get the robe.
So this totally feels like a Larry David moment, whether it's Larry David coming up with this idea or something from Curb Your Enthusiasm. Love it.
Back and forth, ping pong.
Yeah, it's perfect.
This got me thinking. This is the second dark subject they discuss in as many weeks. Last week they touched on alcoholism,
Right.
and now we're touching on suicide.
Week before that, we had the stroke, which isn't like a dark topic, but it's how they handled it.
Exactly. Yeah. So again,
for three.
this is a comedy, and look at the subject matter.
Right.
They're making light of it and easing attention.
A little bit of trivia here from the script. If you're interested, the events in the scene were scripted as taking place at 3 a.m., and the next scene we go into would be 2 hours later at 5 a.m.
Now, they leave the apartment at 3 a.m. and they're wearing their pajamas. But then when they're sitting in Martin's hospital room, they seem to be wearing regular
He's got his red
clothes.
jacket on. Yeah, that's interesting.
That's
We can assume maybe they went back in, because she wanted him to come over to the apartment. They call the ambulance.
There
He
you
goes
go.
back and
That's what it
changes.
was.
The exterior they use for the hospital is the Metropolitan Hospital. I'm not familiar with this hospital, and I Googled it, and it's actually on the Upper East Side, which seems a little weird that they would go through the park, but I don't know my New York or like my Manhattan hospitals very well. Maybe this was the easiest one to get to. You could cut across 96th, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Martin's in bed, and we find out later he's in a coma while Jerry and Gina sit nearby. And, this was tough for me because, even though we were live when this episode aired, I didn't catch Jerry's remark here when he said, oh, well, it's not a Sonny Von Bulow coma. And the doctor says he should snap out of it at any time. Did you know about the Sonny Von Bulow situation? It kind of reminds me a little bit of the who was the woman who had
Terry Schiavo?
Yes, exactly. Reminded me a lot of that sort of media attention and the ethics that go into it. But this was a little different than that in the sense that Sonny Von Bulow fell into a coma, and it's alleged that her husband, Klaus Von Bulow, caused the coma by injecting his wife, who had diabetes, with just like a lethal dose of insulin. And there was a whole trial, but apparently he was acquitted of all charges. So that's what Jerry's referencing here, if anyone wasn't aware. So Gina claims that Martin did this to himself, taking the pills, because she broke up with him, essentially. Right? She doesn't want to see him anymore because she couldn't stand his jealousy. From what we saw earlier, he's a very jealous man. The other day, he turned over a hot dog stand.
Which got me thinking,
because a man was looking at him.
What if the hot dog vendor was one Franklin Delano Romanowski?
It's amazing. I didn't think of that.
And that's why he became so crotchety.
From that one incident?
Yeah. Turned him.
Totally. Yeah, I could see that. I like hearing FDR get brought up so early in our...
Drop dead.
Gina also adds that Martin didn't like Jerry, and all indications he doesn't like Drake's coffee cakes.
I love that phrasing.
It's funny, but it feels very forced to me. Like the fact that Drake's coffee cakes keeps coming back over and over. Even in this situation, it seems so inappropriate, but apparently Martin was screaming all night about how it's too sweet and falls apart when you eat it, which again...
I will give Martin that those crumbs go everywhere with each bite. Have you found that with your introduction?
I've been picking up crumbs this whole
crumbs
this
all
whole
over
night.
the place. Yep. Wipe your mouth there, will you?
I'm sorry if I caused any trouble. I was just being friendly.
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No. I have thought about you many times. Have you thought about me?
Of course.
Tell me everything.
Are you sure he can't hear anything? Martin! Martin!
I wish he was not in a coma. I wish he was dead. I would like to pull the plug out from him.
I would wait on that one. I know how you feel, but juries today, you never know how they're going to look at a thing like this.
I saw you looking at your watch. You want to leave? Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to see what time it was.
Are you afraid of him?
No.
Then kiss me.
Here?
Yes, right here.
Is this the proper venue?
You don't want to?
No, I want to. I very much want to. I desire to. I pine to.
Then kiss me right in front of him.
I can't. What if he wakes up?
A man is lying here unconscious and you're afraid of him? What kind of a man are you?
I'm a man who respects a good coma. If it was one of those in and out comas, maybe. But when a guy's got a coma going like this, you don't want to mess with it.
Jerry's response when Gina asks, have you thought about me? And he goes, of course. It's real fun delivery there.
Of course.
And then Gina kind of just turns on her, we like to borrow Larry David's phrase, psychometer. When she's like, I'd like to pull the plug on him right now.
Yeah.
Like, damn, calm down.
It's getting a little vengeful, almost like, this is really dark, but it's almost like he's like abusive and she's like, I'm finally like in a moment where I can like kill this awful human being, but he doesn't sound that bad. He just is really jealous.
I wouldn't want to live with him.
Oh, but do you want to kill him? Come on.
Speaking of which, though, he's in a coma. He's not on life support. So what would unplugging...
Well, if you're in a coma, aren't you on life support?
I don't think so.
I don't know how that works.
I should know this, shouldn't I?
It's all right.
I'm on the fringe of the healthcare industry.
Well, and also, chances are, if you're in a coma for longer than a day, you're not going to wake up being yourself anymore, right? Like, I would assume after a day of a coma, like, you're going to have such severe brain damage.
Not necessarily.
Really? You can just wake up out of a coma and be like, oh, like...
I feel so refreshed.
Bring me a toothbrush. It's an interesting situation that she would at least try some form of killing him when she has the opportunity. It also seems a little like kinky, I feel like, for Gina to do this, but I don't think it's necessarily like a turn on for her to, for Jerry to want to want Jerry to kiss her in this moment. But yeah, I think she, as we'll see later, I think she gets a rush from knowing Jerry. I don't know. She likes the drama, I think, and the excitement.
I agree, and I think she's a little nutty, and she's mean and screams at Jerry, and kind of puts him down. Like she kind of puts down his masculinity in a couple of different scenes in this episode.
Sure. Well, in the next scene, Jerry's reading the paper in his apartment when Kramer comes in and starts complaining about, Martin being in a coma, and this is because Martin has Kramer's vacuum cleaner and he really needs it back, which, of course, is a little ironic, right? Kramer complaining about someone else stealing his stuff or
that's true,
borrowing his stuff and not giving it back. Jerry asks who told Kramer about Martin, and he says Newman because they're good friends.
Oh, big mouth Newman.
You're right. This isn't introducing the Newman character, but it's the first time Jerry really gives his opinion on the character. So that there's already some tension. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing here we can pull from the revenge or any comment Jerry made before. He already knows he's a big mouth. So I wonder what other situations happen in the apartment between the two of them.
For them to already have that
the tension, or at least for Jerry to be like, oh, Big Mouth Newman, he's always talking, or he's always blabbing on about.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan, we're like trying to think backwards. What is the backstory? But then, if you look at it from a writing standpoint, they're trying to set up that Newman's going to blab later on in the episode.
True. Good point.
It happened right here, Martin.
And I really think we are again jumping ahead, but I feel like this is enough of an origin for Jerry and Newman's sort of like hatred of one another.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be huge. It could have started small, like an incident like this, but. I mean, Newman really does screw Jerry over quite a bit here. I think it's enough for Jerry to despise him. Jerry, hey, let me ask you a question. Asks Kramer how long he has to wait for a guy to come out of a coma before asking out his ex-girlfriend, which...
There's what you just talked about. Hey, let me ask you something.
Exactly. And that right there, that question that Jerry poses Kramer is really how this episode, I feel like, was pitched to Larry and Jerry. Or at least I could imagine Tom Leopold being like, hey, like this is sort of what we're going to explore this episode, which...
That's it. That's a show. Do that.
Right. Kramer jokes and makes a bit of a dated reference here. He says, why not just wait and call Dr. Kevorkian? Which the audience, even has, oh, God. hot button issue there.
The next statement that comes out of Jerry's mouth I found to be a little dark, but he says... I don't get that whole suicide machine. There's no tall buildings where these people live. They can't wrap their lips around a revolver like a normal person.
Yeah.
Damn.
I know. I'm surprised this isn't a Larry Charles episode because like that kind of humor seems more in his department.
And yet the reaction from the audience is, they laugh.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe because it's coming from Jerry, who's so lighthearted, and Jerry really doesn't seem to have a malicious bone in his body, that I guess you can kind of buy it as him be. It is funny, but if you just read those words off the page, it's cold.
Dark. And it ties into the stand up that ends the episode. But Jerry, saying this stuff in his own way does bring a bit of lightness to it that I don't think someone like Kramer or George, for that matter, could really bring up. Maybe Elaine, but it's an interesting area that there's really nothing much we can say about it other than okay, they went there and.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, and it was, relatively funny, although a bit dark. So Jerry starts to tell Kramer about, going with Gina to the hospital the other night.
So what's going on between you and Gina?
Well, I went with her to the hospital last night.
Huh?
So we're in the room, and she's trying to get me to kiss her right in front of her.
Uh-huh. See, that's the great thing about Mediterranean women. All right, so what'd you do?
Nothing.
What kind of a man are you? The guy is unconscious in a coma, and you don't have the guts to kiss his girlfriend?
I didn't know what the coma etiquette was.
There is no coma etiquette. See, that's the beauty of the coma, man. It doesn't matter what you do around him.
So you're saying his girl, his car, his clothes, it's all up for grabs. You can just loot the coma victim.
I give them 24 hours to get out of it. They can't get out of it by 24 hours, it's a land rush.
So if the coma victim wakes up in a month, he's thrilled. He got out of the coma. He goes home, there's nothing left?
Nothing left. That's why I'm trying to get that vacuum cleaner, because somebody's going to grab it.
The coma etiquette, though, this isn't something that really took off as a Seinfeld topic or scene, really. But I do like this dialogue between the two characters. I feel like this is, while it might not be the most memorable scene from the episode, it's kind of the nucleus of this episode right here.
Uh-huh.
I like it. So our next scene is at her name's Rula, right?
Rula.
Yeah. I feel like they don't say her name till the end.
I just hear the doctor say it.
The doctor, and Kramer mentions it in the last scene, but for the longest time, I'm like, psychic?
Let's do the arbitrary Arnold impression of her name. It's not a Rula. Okay.
Well, oh, God.
Rula is played by actress Mimi Lieber. The only things I have from her that were she was a dancer in Grease. I don't know what scene, but keep an eye out for her.
Oh,
she was in a Friends episode, and she was in a Sopranos.
Oh, very cool. I don't know what to call this, but did you get a little bit of an Aubrey Plaza vibe from her from Parks and Recreation? But older, of course.
It's a stretch.
Okay, I got the vibe every once in a while, but
got something all right.
All right, moving on. Well, George and Elaine are sitting at a table with Rula, the psychic. while this weird little girl is sitting in the background.
Faith C.
Yes, with her Faithy.
Oh, excuse me, Faithy. I think you're right. Yeah.
Rula explains that Martin's spirit came to George as a warning because George has heightened extrasensory perception.
Faithy, get your finger out of your nose.
It's, of course, we're only an audio podcast, but everyone should go back to this scene when she like whips her head to the side to yell at Faithy.
Yeah.
It is so fast how she delivers this line.
It's
Extrasensory perception, moves over.
Good. That was a good sound effect.
I really like this actress, by the way. I know there's no way really for her to come back to the show, but I don't know why. I just really enjoyed her scene here more than I ever have before. Rula offers some coffee cake, and George gets a little...
He's immediately like dumbfounded. Like, really, of all days, she has this thing that we just talked about, a day or so earlier.
Right, specifically Drake's coffee cake.
What a coincidence, yeah. Mm-hmm. Did you buy this for me?
No. Maybe I did.
Because quality.
Yes. And of course, Elaine pushes the plate away because she hasn't eaten for 2 days. She's doing pretty well for herself, though. You know what I mean?
She's hanging in there.
Yeah, if I hadn't eaten for 2 days, I don't know if I'd really be going out, going on trips like this to a psychic. I'd probably just be resting up, but...
Should have tried fasting in build up to this episode so we could do it on an empty stomach. So Matt, who's Pauline?
Oh my God, my brother once impregnated a woman named Pauline. So this is a weird mention for George, right? The brother.
Yes. Huge continuity issue because we never hear of a brother being mentioned except in the parking space. George says, "My father never paid for parking. My mother, my brother, nobody. We can't do it." And this is the last we'll ever hear of George having a sibling.
Well, in this episode in the parking space you mentioned?
Yes.
Yeah. It is weird, right?
And I like to think of George being an only child. It fits with all his psychological issues that he's got going on with him. You know what I mean? I can't imagine there being a second Costanza being screwed up by that family,
Mm-hmm. In a weird way, they kind of got... It's not like they got around the sibling issue, but they were able to address a sibling or a sibling-like character with the Lloyd Braun character. I could imagine him being sort of either younger or older, like that. Not the spoiled, but the
favorite.
Yeah, the favorite, the successful one.
Why can't you be more like Lloyd Braun?
Yeah, why can't you be more like your brother, sort of thing. But I like George and Jerry being the only children.
Yeah, I think of Well, we got a video of George's boyhood trip to Michigan. 4 hours. Blow out the candles,
Yeah,
and
right.
Just the one kid in that grainy birthday video.
Mm-hmm. George would have turned out probably more normal if he had a sibling.
Probably.
Because he was the focal point from those two nut jobs. So George cuts the deck of tarot cards while Rula smokes a cigarette, and he asks, interestingly enough, about a woman named Audrey, which seemed like quite a pull, considering this goes all the way back to the nose job.
Yeah.
Something we brought up in that episode, which I'm glad to see it paid off a little bit here. He says that, I loved her very much. And we had a conversation during that scene, or at least we brought up, it seemed like George really cared about Audrey more than he had about anyone before.
Up until she had that deviated septum, that botched nose job.
Sure. Well, he wonders if he'll ever see Audrey again, and Rula says, not in this lifetime. So.
Well, I love that, this woman Audrey, she had a big nose, and Rula's like, I see an Audrey, but with a small nose.
Yes,
That's
she
right.
had a nose job.
Man, so good.
Well, Elaine at this point seems pretty uncomfortable with the fact that Rula has been smoking this entire time.
Should you be smoking?
Does it bother you?
You're pregnant.
Elaine.
I smoked when I had Faithy. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh? What? What uh-oh?
I don't know about this trip, George.
You can see the Cayman Islands in there? Is something gonna happen to me? What?
It's really bad for the fetus, you know that?
Elaine, she's a psychic. She knows how the kid's gonna be. Should I not go on this trip?
George, I am going to tell you something, and I want you to really hear me.
Now listen, I just don't know how a person with everything that we now know about prenatal care can put a cigarette in her mouth.
Elaine, what are you doing to me?
It's disgusting. take
I
it.
don't need this.
Look, please.
I would like you both to leave.
Oh, fine. Well, I don't like to be around people who are just so irresponsible.
Get the hell out.
A plane crash? A heart attack? Lupus? Is it lupus?
Do you want me to call the super? He was an Israeli commando.
If you don't say anything, I'll assume it's a plane crash.
Get out.
Not a plane crash. Is it a plane crash?
So we get another look at the earlier Elaine, who was very strong in her convictions. I guess she still is, but this is one of those just issues, and rightfully so, that she's very passionate about. You know, previously with being, I guess, vegetarian, or some type of vegetarian.
I think it started with a tuna. I think.
Right, they're dying in the nets, and then I eat fish occasionally.
Sure,
fish don't have feelings.
What was
fur.
it called? The fur, yeah.
And now
Rick, not Rick Ludwin.
He doesn't recycle.
Not Rick Barr.
Rick Levitan.
Levitan. I really have to go through them all. Yeah,
and
it doesn't recycle.
And then, funny, because here's her first. Here's the first time we see her for her disgust for smoking, and then as we're going to see in a couple episodes later,
yes,
you and your smoking, you're like dating C. Everett Koop. In The Boyfriend, we're gonna see that again.
It's a big turnoff for her, but at least in this one, it's not like, hey, it bothers me. It's you're pregnant. Come on,
it's for the sake of the baby. Yeah,
of course, sure. So George gets pretty paranoid here, and I like that we're getting more. I don't think George necessarily needs to be freaking out in order to be funny or interesting as a character. Mm-hmm. But I love it. Like I love it when he's nervous, when he's freaking out.
It's a cherry on top.
Oh, it's beautiful. And this whole thing here with heart attack, lupus. Is it lupus?
He fixates on lupus quite often in the series.
That has to be like one of Larry David's favorite words. Yeah,
I have that in my notes as well.
Yeah,
as like, what is LD's fascination with lupus?
Well, it comes back in the pilot, right? In season 4, is that?
Yes.
When he finds a little white spot.
White. Yeah, it's like a slight discoloration.
It's all white, Jerry.
Again with the white.
And, of course, we should mention the heart attack he thinks he was having in season 2. You know, he's very much a hypochondriac, especially if it has to do with his own fate.
Psychics should be licensed. And it wouldn't be hard. I mean, we could just give him the regular DMV test, only with the silver dollars and the pizza dough over the eyes. I mean, if you can do the parallel park like that, you're a psychic. But we can test these people, there's no question about it. Like Kreskin, I mean, instead of just hiding his check, why don't we try stopping his check? Let's see how he handles that.
I don't know, man. The stand-up in this episode just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like I don't get this. What this is? Like what's silver dollars and the pizza dough over the eyes? Do you get that?
I don't know. I don't know how to describe what I'm thinking.
Okay, so you get this joke. I'm just
not really. I'm not a smart person.
I'm not a smart man.
But this stand-up in particular, it feels like one they just kind of threw together for this episode. Just we need something here.
Yeah.
All right.
So if anyone out there,
everybody,
if anyone out there can explain to us the silver dollars and the pizza dough over the eyes concept, we'd appreciate it. Next scene is in Jerry's apartment, and we have Gina walking out of Jerry's bathroom. Looks like she's getting herself together. Assume they, spent the night together. And Jerry is shaking up some OJ in the kitchen. Kind of reminded me of like a Snapple bottle,
Yeah. You gotta shake it.
Right. Gina makes an interesting comment here about Jerry's toothbrush. And I don't like it because there's no bristles on it. We haven't really established Jerry as a, not a germaphobe, but a clean freak.
Fastidious?
Yes. I'll take fastidious. It just doesn't seem like something he would, at least later Jerry would do, let someone use his toothbrush.
Absolutely not, because I can think of 2 instances already where that broke up a relationship for him. So Jenna, the toothbrush in a toilet bowl.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's different because there was a toothbrush in a bowl. Yeah. Did you say there's a taint?
I did. That's what he says. He says in the episode. I'm not a deviant. And then also with the girl who Jerry ate her discarded pecan.
Oh yeah, great point.
And she wanted Jerry to use her toothbrush when he stayed over, and because he declined, she ended up kicking him out of her apartment. But he's letting Gina use his toothbrush.
Yeah, he really likes her. But also, why are there no bristles on his toothbrush?
Because he wore it down.
Yeah, I guess so.
So there was some additional dialogue in the scene, which was cut, and well, let's just talk about it first.
All right.
Jerry tells Gina that she's lucky he even let her use his toothbrush, and Gina replies, "After what we did last night."
Oh.
And Jerry points to the bedroom and tells her that she didn't see him bring the toothbrush in there with him.
Oh wow!
Now, what the hell is going on here?
What did your mind leap to some?
When did this become Seinfeld XXX?
It's pretty risque stuff there, Vinny.
Man,
getting all sweaty.
Am I?
I agree. That seems like something Jerry would say. Hey, you should feel lucky that I'm letting you use my toothbrush.
That I agree with him saying. But the next part.
But Gina does make a fair argument. Like, hey, obviously we were in there. We were in there for a while.
Yeah.
Obviously we did stuff that trumps using a toothbrush. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, but I kind of like that. I wish that had stayed in because it addresses sort of what we're talking about here: his fastidiousness. I like heightening the sexuality between these two because Gina obviously is sort of seducing Jerry.
Yeah,
not in a sinister way or anything, but he's obviously drawn to her.
Yeah,
if she were a normal gal, I don't think he would have necessarily jeopardized his safety to be with her.
Psychosexual.
Right.
Now, I'm glad they kept it out because it just seems I don't know if I'm a prude, but that seems it just seems too much for me. I don't know. I'm conjuring up something very sexual in my mind.
Oh God. Yeah, and just so everyone knows, our listeners, Vinny and I, even though we try to keep things as PG as we can on this podcast, Vinny and I are in no way prudes. In fact, we are.
Oh no,
we are
swing
deviants.
with the best of them. Yeah.
Yes, very much.
But now, so listen to the next line. Gina says, "It's too small for someone with such a big mouth," and she kisses him.
Oh.
So they have this nice little moment, and then she goes, "Let me ask you, what will you do if Martine wakes up? Run away like a mouse?" So isn't that mean? out of nowhere, just to kick him in the balls?
Yeah, she's sort of like she's like a sadist. You know what I mean? She lets him come up for air a little bit, and then just puts him right back down.
No, you don't. Yeah. So and Jerry kind of takes it in stride. It's not no more like the Three Stooges.
Right.
But I just this relationship is sick.
It's perverse. But Gina, though, when Jerry mentions the Stooges, she wants to know more about them and whether Jerry will show them to her.
I will show you the Stooges.
So Gina's like all happy. I guess she's just really turned on with the fact that Jerry will risk his safety by being with her, and she's like, "All right, you walk me to a cab." And sorry, that's terrible. Jerry tells her since Martin's in a coma, maybe it's a good idea that they're not seen in the building together, which I agree with. I think that's a little risky. And also you want to respect Martin a little bit, but you don't mind, diddling the girlfriend behind his back.
Yeah, he's already diddled.
So you support Gina more?
Well, Jerry has already committed, right? They've already had sex by this point.
Yeah, she has used his toothbrush.
Yeah. So is that what they call it nowadays?
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not fair from Gina's point of view that they have that relationship going, but he won't be seen in public with her because you know what I mean. If he's going to be dating her,
see,
I don't know.
You need to be more like me and be a coward about things and just avoid any kind of responsibility or obligation. But like you pointed out, Vinny, this ticks Gina off, and she accuses him of she of being afraid and not being a man. And again, she's kind of like dressing him down almost in every scene, and it could be fair. It's not like she's like a mean person for doing that. A fair argument could be made that Jerry needs to kind of like own up to this relationship or man up to this relationship. So they go out into the hallway, and hey, who do we see for the first time?
Now, why don't you just eat fruit?
Can't eat fruit, it makes me incontinent.
Why don't you eat it over here?
Hello, Gina. Hello, Jerry.
Hello, Newman.
I love, and I don't know if this happened on purpose or it was just a happy accident, but Jerry's first words when addressing Newman are, hello, Newman.
It's perfect.
Not happy to see him.
Not at all. Not at all. And I like that Newman's first, at least on-screen lines are, "I can't eat fruit. It makes me incontinent."
Yeah. Middle of a conversation, yeah.
Perfect Newman.
All right, let's take a short break.
The episode did bring up a question that I'd love for you to address that I was always curious about, and that's basically like, what's your problem with Newman? I mean, why are you always so hostile to him? He seems like a nice guy.
That's a great question.
Right?
That's your first great question.
For him.
Yeah. Because we never explained why I dislike Newman. And we're glad that nobody asked because I don't have an answer.
Right.
The real answer is why I hated Newman is because it just seemed funny to hate Newman. You know, you've got your friends that are like you, and then you have that one friend that's really not like you at all, and that's what you like about them. They're kind of an outer orbit. And their friend is someone you cannot deal with at all. So that was the reasoning, but there was no real reason, Peter, for me to hate Newman. He never did anything bad to me.
You just thought
it was just fun. It was fun to hate him.
Newman. Okay, we're back.
We come back from our act break, and we're back at the hospital. This time, though, we're in a hallway, and we get this great shot of, it's like George, Jerry, Elaine sitting. Elaine is really, I feel bad for her. She's been fasting for 3 days and she's really out of it. She's there, I guess, to finally get her x-ray for the ulcer. Mm-hmm. So they're all, kind of in different worlds, which is very typical of these three characters whenever they're together. Jerry's worried about Newman, telling Martin about him and Gina. George is upset with Elaine for giving Rula a hard time about smoking. And Elaine's freaking out, as I mentioned, actually seeing the wall move at some point.
Julia did a great job in this episode. She doesn't have much dialogue, but she's wonderful at playing this character who's, hasn't eaten.
It is kind of a shame Elaine isn't more of this kind of goofy character, like a Kramer or just someone who's just not really all there, because she does, a great job at it.
Yeah.
Well, Elaine walks up to a nurse and tells her, "Hey, I haven't eaten in 3 days. How much longer is it going to take until I can get my x-ray?"
We'll call you.
Yeah, right.
So that nurse is actually pretty important. She is played by actress Peggy O'Rourke. And I don't know if you guys recognize that face, but she's been in 12 episodes of Seinfeld.
Wow.
First of all, she is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's stand-in. In The Parking Space, she plays bystander number 1. Ooh. In The Trip Part 2, she plays reporter number 1. In The Pilot, she plays the woman on Jerry's set, although that's a deleted scene. In The Sniffing Accountant, she's the voice of Barry Prophet's receptionist. In The Cigar Store Indian, she's a card player, but that scene was deleted. In The Jimmy, she plays an office worker, also a deleted scene. And then, and the rest, I know, that's really, really fascinating stuff. But in these remaining episodes, The Face Painter, The Friars Club, The Foundation, and the Bizarro Jerry, she plays a waitress at Monk's.
Oh, okay.
So she was in 7 episodes of King of Queens, and it looks like she does more producing now than acting. Mm-hmm. So she's still very active in Hollywood.
That's interesting that Elaine Standen, plays a waitress, because we know Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
or half sister.
I thought it was her half sister.
Yeah.
And again, her name's escaping me. Plays a waitress. She's the one that flips off George, right?
Yep.
in the cafe.
I'll check.
You're right. So, Elaine sits back down, defeated. She can't get her X-ray yet, and Jerry tells George to, hey, George, if I ever wind up in a coma, I want you to put all my stuff in storage because of looters.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Matt, yeah, go on.
I didn't really care for that joke. Like, it just doesn't seem like Jerry to believe what Kramer says, but.
See, I was going to ask you here today if you would be my coma guy and put all my stuff in storage if I go into coma. But now, since you don't believe it, I'll ask somebody else.
Kramer walks up, and George, in this moment, makes the decision and tells Kramer, "Hey, I want you to go to the Cayman Islands instead of me because, the psychic said something bad will happen."
If you think about it, George is not even taking into account maybe something bad would happen to Kramer.
Yeah.
He just wants to pawn it off on somebody else.
I got the same note here. Yeah, it seems, I don't know, maybe there's something about Kramer, his, what's the thing? Not the Katra, but the Kavorka. I don't know. Maybe there's some energy in him that's fighting this evil spirit or something.
as we learned in the parking garage, Kramer saw this thing on TV that those people with terminal illness, the way they lived a full life was to live every day to the fullest, I think.
Oh, sure, yeah. So we cut to Martin's hospital room, and Newman's sitting there reading while Kramer is just yelling in Martin's face. Oh, that vacuum cleaner back. His mom's coming to visit. Hey, another mention of Babs.
Yeah.
And when she sees that rug, she'll kill me. And I like Newman. This is really Newman's first proper scene. He's like, he can't hear you, you idiot.
Yeah, what are you calling me an idiot for?
Well, they start debating, whether a vacuum cleaner can work, or Newman says, hey, just borrow my carpet sweeper. And this line, it's so Kramer. I don't know if they wrote this, for really the character, or if anyone else could have said this. He's like, carpet sweeping is the biggest scam perpetrated on the American public since 1 hour Martinizing, which is just such a mouthful. But
that's the conspiracy theory Kramer again, always suspicious of everybody. And it's only fitting that it's 1 hour Martinizing, and Martin is the guy in the coma. I don't know.
Is that the joke?
I don't know. Did they name him Martin because of that?
Right.
That seems too good to be true.
Well, 1 hour Martinizing it's a franchise name. It was a company that would, dry cleaning service. It was really popular in the 50s and 60s. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I assume that specific Martinizing was the joke.
I don't know. Well, the whole pronunciation of Martin is Martin, and then Martinizing, it goes together very, very well.
Sure. Well, Newman's like, it keeps my rug clean, and
I wouldn't set foot in your house. They have quite disdain for each other.
They're an old married couple. But we know that doesn't stick because Kramer goes over to Newman's many times, and it is a mess, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
So Jerry enters.
Hello.
Hey. Hello, Jerry.
How's he doing?
He looks happy to me.
I hope he stays this happy when he wakes up.
Why wouldn't he?
No reason.
He'll have a lot of catching up to do, I guess.
I'll bring him up to date.
How up to date?
All the way up.
Nothing could change your mind?
Well, it would take a hell of a lot, because a friend is something you earn.
Okay, Jerry has a friend who has free tickets to the Cayman Islands this weekend. He's not going.
I don't care much for the beach. I freckle. Is that a,
Drake's coffee cake.
Wow. Where did you get that?
From my house. I got a whole box of them.
Boy, that's the full size.
That's your big boy.
Can I have a bite?
I don't give out bites. I got another one, but I'm saving it for later.
Just one bite?
I don't think so. They're so fragile.
All right. I won't say anything.
You swear?
I swear.
On your mother's life.
On my mother's life.
This moment here, right as the scene ends, it's a visual cue, but Newman opens up the Drake's coffee cake and he smells it.
I know what you're gonna say.
Does he look like Jack Nicholson?
Oh, I wasn't going with that.
Oh yeah, I know where you're going, but he has this weird kind of, his face contorts into like a weird like Jack Nicholson kind of expression.
Oh, I was just going solely on that noise he makes. The bliss of being able to smell the coffee cake.
Right there, it sounded like Jack Nicholson.
Oh, thank you.
A little bit of jambalaya, when he's...
Oh, yeah.
Jambalaya. That's where I thought you were going right now.
No. Good call.
All right.
Thanks for finishing my...
Sandwiches,
yeah. I got one thing to add. That move that Jerry does where he, holds the coffee cake in front of Newman and he's like, I'm saving it for later, where he snatches it back. I always think of how Jerry just ruins that coffee cake for consumption because now it's broken into a million pieces.
He really squishes it up. Mm-hmm.
So even if Newman did get it, it wouldn't be it'd be all crumbs.
I love the scene, just the little stuff. Yep, that's your big boy. I feel like there's an homage of sorts to it in a later episode. The name's escaping me, when Newman is interrogating Jerry at the post office, and he's got that
timeless art of seduction one.
Yeah, and he's got that can of mug root beer, and he's like, "Can I have a sip?" And he's like, "No."
It's kind of hot under these lights. Yeah,
a little bit there. So we cut back to the hallway. George and Elaine are sitting out there again, and Elaine is just raving like a maniac about duck. Mountains of duck.
We actually see George kind of look over to a woman he's sitting next to on this bench while Elaine is hallucinating juicy, tender breasts of duck. And that woman is actually Jason Alexander's mom in real life. Her name is Ruth, and she had a little cameo in this episode.
Yeah, it's cute to know that his mom had a little appearance, canonical appearance on Seinfeld. So all of a sudden, Faithy, the just weird kid, Rula's daughter.
I didn't mention her earlier, but her name is Amy Aro, and she only had 2 acting credits, and they were both in 1991. One was a movie called Late for Dinner, and then the Seinfeld episode.
Huh. Okay. But for some reason, she walks by. It's a very weird scene how it's edited. I feel like they either didn't get the right pieces or they cut out a lot of material. But I guess George sees Faithy walk by. He realizes Rula's there, and he chases after.
Well, she takes off.
But yeah, instead he decides to chase it after a small child in a hospital, and he eventually winds up in Rula's hospital room, and she is in the middle of labor pains. She's doing her breathing. And of course, classic George just starts pestering her about the Cayman Islands trip, which eventually gets interrupted by the doctor arriving. And this whole scenario reminded me a lot of the whole... I think it might be the 7, where he's running down the hallway with the couple. She's having a baby, and he's like, it's very selfish of you to be taking that name.
The doctor in the scene is played by Howard Schechter. This is his last acting credit.
Oh, interesting.
So... good way to go out.
So now we go into this weird thing where we cut between George's story and Jerry's story in Martin's room.
Assassins! How dare they keep a person waiting like this? Drake's coffee cake.
Jerry, you better stop her or I'll tell.
Elaine, no!
The terrorists on the plane. A hotel fire. Is that it? Typhus. Malaria. Yellow fever.
Lupus. Is it lupus? They did it right in this bed, Martin. Right in front of you.
I want my vacuum cleaner.
It was disgusting.
We're kind of bouncing back and forth between these scenes, but ultimately the big takeaway I got from this is that Kramer, he's witnessing someone waking up from a coma.
Yeah.
Yet in the comeback, right? He didn't realize that people could come out of comas.
Yeah.
I didn't realize people could know that.
I had sex with your wife. His wife's in a coma.
Right. It all comes back to comas.
Martin's noise that he makes when he's kind of getting awoken from the coma. That always
the noise you would make.
I guess that always sticks out to me.
I love all these stories kind of coming together and really building up to this boiling point. We've brought this term up before, kind of a crescendo of sorts.
Crescendo, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
it's rapid fire, the bam, 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 back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good. And again, the show doesn't depend on this to have a good ending, but when it does happen, it's lovely.
Oh, man.
We cut back to Jerry's apartment, and again, right back to the beginning. George is in the same spot where Elaine was before. In the by the sink, and he's going to town on some cereal. And again, Jerry criticizes him. Hey, we're going out to eat in 10 minutes. What are you doing? George comments how disgusting it was to assist in the birth, and would you believe it that she named the kid Rasputin? So
full circle.
Full circle.
A couple hours ago.
So, how was it?
George, I would like to thank you for the greatest 4 days I ever spent in my life. They were shooting the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue right in the hotel pool. Whoa! Not only that, the hotel, they opened up this area on the beach for nude bathing, and all of the Sports Illustrated models went down there. Wow! I am on the next blanket from Elle McPherson. Who played backgammon nude. Oh, she's a sweet kid.
Nude backgammon with swimsuit models!
Oh, you know what? The second day I was there, I stepped on a jellyfish. Now, it kind of stung my foot. That's probably what Rula was trying to warn you about.
Yeah, you gotta watch for the jellyfish.
Yeah?
I love the line, she's a sweet kid. I say that all the time. If I admire somebody, she's going to be a sweet kid.
We're getting, once again, there's some patterns forming here. This idea of Kramer always winning, always coming out on top.
Yep. Falling ass backwards into some wonderful event.
And it's even sweeter when George is the one who could have had that or could have been the one in that situation, whether it's Audrey or it's, nude backgammon with swimsuit models.
And I love that the thing that Rula must have been talking about that would have ruined George's trip was Kramer, something so minute as Kramer stepping on a jellyfish. And it kind of stung my foot.
That's what she was talking about. Well, at this point, Kramer notices an invite on Jerry's counter for a housewarming party for Martin and Gina. They got a new place down in the village. Another weird plot that doesn't really get wrapped up.
Wait a second. Back it up. Beep, beep, beep. Why? We just saw a scene ago that Martin was strangling Jerry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Jerry's also not man enough for Gina. So, and yet Jerry gets invited to their housewarming. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's again that storyline doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Well, could you give the invite to Newman? He's the only one who was still on Martin's side because Kramer was yelling at it about his vacuum cleaner.
That's true.
So like they burned all these bridges.
Yeah.
And Gina went back with Martin after all that.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
But she couldn't stand him.
Yeah, I don't know. Elaine buzzes, very similar to George in the beginning, and they're going to head down for dinner before Elaine starts her fast again. But Kramer, remember, so I'm getting together with a bunch of girls from the islands. And
is Elle McPherson going to be there?
Oh, I have to call her. It's not that one of those great like pop moments where you can just kind of like roll credits. You have to slowly transition into the stand-up, which we do.
The thing I don't understand about the suicide person is the people that try and commit suicide, for some reason, they don't die, and then that's it. They stop trying. Why? Why don't they just keep trying? What has changed? Is their life any better now? No. In fact, it's worse, because now they've found out, here's one more thing you stink at. Okay, that's why these people don't succeed at life to begin with. Because they give up too easy. I say pills don't work, try a rope. Car won't start in the garage, get a tune-up. You know what I mean? There's nothing more rewarding than reaching a goal you've set for yourself.
This one is from his act, so that's why it's so strong.
Mm-hmm.
But the line of like, is their life any better now? No, in fact, it's worse because now you found out there's one more thing you stink at. When you think about it, it's kind of true.
It's so sad, because it's such a dark, serious thing that like ruins so many people's lives.
Yeah,
but it is pretty clever.
But this childlike look at it of like, yeah, you couldn't do that either. It's funny, but he's walking this delicate line, and because the words are coming out of Jerry Seinfeld's mouth, we all accept it.
Mm-hmm. No, I know what you mean. Jerry by no means is like a hot button comic. But I like it when he can touch on these topics. Well, Vinny, it's almost 2 a.m. What do you say we wrap it up?
Yeah, you still with us, everybody?
So, what do you think?
Another good episode. There's this streak like midway through season 3 where I feel like we get some really, just solid episodes. They're not necessarily classics, but I wouldn't avoid them if they were on TV or
you wouldn't change the channel.
Yeah, just because they're good in their own way. They're not kind of like last week's with the red dot. Just that whole situation with the the cashmere sweater, so classic. And with this, seeing Newman for the first time, in addition to the Drake's coffee cakes and stuff like that, just very memorable, good stuff. But ultimately, there's just some story issues I have with this episode that just don't do it for me. As we just mentioned, the whole like Gina Martin thing just kind of it either fizzles out or it just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense in the end, like what was going on there. George's storyline is pretty funny. We get some mileage out of that. Kramer, once again, doesn't really have that much to do in this episode in terms of like an actual storyline. He's just sort of there to, I don't know, assist with George's storyline a little bit and then assist with Jerry's storyline with Martin. But that's really the only negatives I have with the episode as a whole. Ultimately, I think it's fantastic. And I love that we're finally getting the Newman character in our lives, because Newman always makes the scene better. Even if he's there just to say, yeah, your nipple's showing. He always, makes me crack up whenever I see him. I feel like Tom Leopold is really good at taking a very like simple premise, such as, hey, asking out a girl whose ex-boyfriend is in a coma, or fasting, or going back to his first episode, The Cafe, about, that one restaurant or that one business that always seems to close or reopen as something else. He's always able to take very small ideas and really stretch it over an entire episode pretty well. And you can revisit the themes and the questions in the episode, and it doesn't get stale after a while. So, ultimately, I think this is a good episode. It wasn't a classic, so I'm going to give it 8 boxes of Big Boy coffee cakes out of 10.
You got me thinking, though. You kind of made some comments about Tom Leopold kind of taking this one little bit from his life or this event that he experienced, and he weaves that into a episode storyline. And now that I'm thinking about it, this episode kind of feels different than what we're used to. It doesn't have that Larry David feel, or Larry Charles for that matter, or Peter Melman or Jerry Seinfeld, that feel that we've grown accustomed to. So it feels a little bit different type of episode. I really do like that we finally get introduced to Newman, as we're going to get very comfortable with Wayne Knight over the course of these 6 remaining seasons. This episode, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't blown away. And I wish Elaine had more to do in the episode. She did a lot with just the physical humor that she did, but I would have liked her to have a little bit more storyline. I enjoyed the dynamic between Jerry and Gina, although, like you pointed out, for starters, I thought she was really mean to Jerry. I didn't appreciate that. But the end, towards the end of the episode, their storyline kind of just unraveled, and I don't understand why, after Jerry kind of getting in the middle of this relationship, did they invite him to a housewarming?
That doesn't make, sorry to jump in, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I do get why Gina goes back to Martin, because either Jerry was like this like not a tool, but like something she was using in order to maybe have feelings for Martin again. Yeah. I think she just likes passionate men, and Jerry's obviously not passionate. Martin is, because he's strangling Jerry by the end.
And the coma is symbolic of him waking up.
Oh God. What does the Drake's coffee cake represent?
Yeah. It's a crumb of his soul.
He's trying to buy back a crumb.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Kramer's storyline was nice. I like how George got his just desserts, and of course Kramer was the one to serve it up to him. But this episode wasn't a home run for me, but I enjoyed watching it. I'm glad we got to have this one in the lineup for this week. So having said that, I'm gonna get. I don't know how you can quantify this, but I'm going to give it 7.8 nude swimsuit models out of 10.
Of course.
Well, you took coffee cakes.
And that's going to do it for us at Seincast. Vinny, how about you let everyone know how they can get in touch with us?
Sure. Email us at seincast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook and like us. Follow us on Twitter at Seincast, as well as on Tumblr and Pinterest. We post things every week. That's it.
Okay. And if you haven't already, if you could just take a few minutes to leave us a rating and review on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. The more feedback we get, the more likely other Seinfeld fans will find out about the show. So, Vinny, what episode are we favored to talk about next week?
We'll be talking about the 13th episode of Season 3, The Subway. This baby loves the slop, loves it, eats it up, eats a slop, born a slop. His father was a mutter.
His father was a mutter?
His mother was a mutter.
His mother was a mutter?
What'd I just say?
But for now, I'm Matt.
I'm Vinny.
Signing off. Seincast is not endorsed by Castle Rock Entertainment, Sony Pictures, or NBC, and is intended for information and entertainment purposes only. The official Seinfeld site can be found at sonypictures.com/TV/Seinfeld. Seinfeld, the Seinfeld logo, and all names, pictures, and audio of Seinfeld characters are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Castle Rock Entertainment or their respective trademark and copyright holders.
Martin's spirit came to you as a warning.
Why would he come to George?
Because George has heightened extrasensory perception. Faithy, get your finger out of your nose.